So hey y'all, Wes Watson was just arrested, yes, again, down there in Miami, Florida on felony charges, and these could be charges that absolutely send him back to prison, which is really sad. Like honestly, I don't want to see anybody go back to prison, especially somebody who got out, changed their life, had a positive message, was doing some good things, and then kind of like fell apart. Like I'd rather see somebody's trajectory go all the way up. Some of my favorite human beings are people who used to be like drug addicts, who used to be criminals, who turned their lives around and started doing amazing things and came all the way up, bro. Like I'm friends with Jelly Roll and Struggle Jennings and Ronnie Radke. Those are come up stories and they're still out here doing amazing. Do I think that Wes is a dirtbag? I mean, we all know that he is. We saw how he handled that situation at the gym. We've seen how he's scamming dudes out of money and then talking to him crazy and threatening him. We've seen that video that happened at the CVS where he's like threatening that youngster for asking him questions about his car. Bro is just out of control and his ego has completely taken over his life. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't know if he got turned out in prison or not, but he definitely got turned out here on the streets by the money and the fame, whatever type of fame you can get by being a YouTuber. Like, he definitely got turned out. He got wallered out by that stuff, man, and it happened to him quick. And it sucks that he lost his scope because the guy used to be on a really positive message, and it was things that I could get behind. Like, I felt like at the beginning, when he first started, me and him were kind of on a mutual path, bro. It was about being accountable for your stuff, taking ownership, moving in a better way, moving forward, teaching others, building other people up. But it turned out for him, it was all just a ploy. It was all just a money grab. It was all just a scam. And then his ego ran riot and it bent him over, and now he's in the back of a cop car. And I'm about to run you down on all the crazy details of what's going on with this. So grab your shower shoes, go wash your ass, and meet me in the day room. Let's go. Let's start this off by giving credit where credit is due. This story was broke by Ballbusters on IG. They're the ones who provided us with these pictures. Here is a picture of Wes Watson getting tossed in the back of a cop car out there in Miami, Florida, man. I know this feeling. There's a sinking feeling in your gut once they cuff you up and they put you in the back of that cop car that smells like a bum's disgusting asshole, bro. You just know that somebody pissed in that thing half an hour before they put you in that bitch, and you know you's going to jail and everything that you've been working on is over. Now look, you guys, I just want to make it clear again that I am not happy about this. The thing is that there's consequences to your actions. And if you're going to be out there harming people and doing bad, dastardly stuff to people, especially the way that this went down, it was so messed up the way that Wes and his homies jumped this dude and even went to using weapons, especially after all the internet callouts that this dude did. He was absolutely trying to invite anybody and everybody to come to the gym and get some, brother. I mean, he also made a lot of Hummer references, like he was trying to get that sloppy toppy in the parking lot on the side. So it was even weirder, bro. Like this dude's just got a weird ass get down. I don't know. It's probably the tren getting to his head. If you guys don't know what tren is, we talking about Trenabol. It is an anabolic steroid and it makes people weird as hell. It makes people aggressive. It turns people into sexual deviants. It's not something you want to be putting into your system. And I happen to know that that's like on the heaviest of rotation with what Wes is taking. It's just not a good choice if you're going to go with anabolic steroids, because you're really prone to put yourself in positions just like this. This is Wes's mugshot, and you can tell right there, he does not look happy. He knows that he's cooked right now, man. They got the whole thing on video. It was a 4-on-1, bro. They used weapons. It has been upped from a misdemeanor to a felony assault. This dude is definitely going to get some sort of time for this. That might be county jail. It's not super likely. It's way more likely that he's going to get prison time, but we're going to look into all of that here in just a minute, man. Just take a second and look at this picture. You can tell dude is defeated. All that tough talk, and dude is definitely defeated. And it doesn't matter how tough or gangster you are, once you hit that county jail, you are gonna feel that sinking feeling inside like, man, I screwed it all up. I let myself down. I let everybody who looks up to me or who cares about me down, and it's just a bad deal. So the first thing that we're gonna be looking at here is his booking information, because the police report and all of that good stuff is not available yet. So we have Wesley Thomas Watson, and he's being held on aggravated battery. Dude, That's a serious charge. In the state of Florida, that carries some decent ass time. And as of right now, he has no bond. Now, he's probably going to have a bond like in a day or so once he sees a judge. They'll probably set a bond. And of course, this dude's hella baller, right? So I'm sure he's going to pay his way out with a quickness. He'll be back on the streets until he goes to trial. I can't really foresee any reason that they would keep him locked up without a bond. And I am going to point this out, not as a diss, just because there's been so much debate on the internet about this. Wes Watson, officially, we all know now, is 5'8". And around here, we love and respect us some short kings, but I just want to point out that this does kind of make sense as to why this dude acts the way he does sometimes. He's definitely overcompensating for something. Now let's get into what the consequences are of his actions, because it's something serious, bruh. So, in Florida, if you're convicted of aggravated battery, you face up to 15 years in prison, 15 years probation, and a $15,000 fine. Up to. That doesn't mean that you're going to get all of that, but that is like the maximum sentence that they could give you for it. It is a second-degree felony in the state of Florida to catch aggravated battery. Now, there are extenuating circumstances that make it aggravated, and let's get into what those are. This is the one that's going to screw him right here. The use of a deadly weapon. If you get caught using a deadly weapon in the state of Florida in an aggravated battery case, it is a mandatory minimum of 10 years. And we all saw in that video, Wes hit that dude in the face with a weight belt. Now, maybe that would be considered a deadly weapon, or maybe it wouldn't. It just depends on what the prosecutor wants to push and what the jury is willing to accept. But we do know that his friend hit dude in the head with the dumbbell. That definitely is going to constitute as a deadly weapon. Now, just because Wes never touched that dumbbell does not mean that he is not accountable for what his friend did, because they committed a felony together. And anytime you are in the intentional commission of a felony with another person, anything that they do, you are culpable legally for too. So I think this puts him in a very dangerous zone to catch that 10-year mandatory minimum sentencing. Bro, 10 years over some internet drama that he started is just weapons grade stupid. This other one might be bad too. The repeat offender thing, that's not going to be really great if they look at his criminal record, because he does have crimes in his past criminal record out of the state of California that would be considered violent crimes. So that alone could get him hit on that aggravated battery. Now, another aggravating factor could be if the battery caused permanent disfigurement or disability. And we didn't see what shape the dude was in when he got rushed to the hospital, but what we did see was one of his dreadlocks laying on the ground. So this aggravating factor could come into play officially and legally just because they ripped that dreadlock out of his head. That could be permanent disfigurement. Also, we don't know what other injuries that poor man sustained. At the end of the day, what's realistically going to happen to him? In the end, I think that he's going to get that 10 mandatory minimum if they hit him on this charge. Now, if they offer him a plea deal for like a simple battery, if he gets a really good lawyer, if he tells on his co-defendants, if he does something to really grease the wheels, you never know. They might give him that plea deal. But if he gets hit with this charge, with these aggravating factors, he's doing a mandatory minimum 10 years in prison for like a 3-minute altercation at a gym because he wanted to act tough on the internet. You guys, there are real life consequences sometimes when you fuck around too much on the goddamn web. Like I said, the dude does seem like he has some bread. I personally think he's inflating his income a whole hell of a lot, but who knows? Maybe he has the money to get out. Maybe he has the money to get a good lawyer. Maybe he has the money to make some things happen and get that sweet ass deal of dropping it to a simple battery. But this could be a decade in prison, in Florida prisons, where he's not going to have a good time at all whatsoever. And I don't want this to just be a roast fest on Wes, which is hard because he definitely did this to himself every single step of the way. People warned him that he was going down a bad path and he refused to listen. He just kept instigating more and more crap and trying to act like a tough guy on the internet. But what I want to use this as is a teachable moment to everybody out there who maybe doesn't know what the system does to people. The system will fuck you all the way up, homie. And I want you to hear me when I say this. You do not want to let a 3 minutes of your life end up costing you 10, 15, 20 to life of your life in a place like prison. Prison sucks. It doesn't matter what state you're in. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, how much money you have. There's not a good good situation in which you could be in prison. It's all garbage and it's all a waste of your life. It's all giving up your freedom for absolutely nothing that's actually worth anything. And the second that you get there, you realize how bad what you did was and how you needed to value your freedom and how much you utterly fucked everything up. So let's not do that. Everybody, let's learn from Wes and do better, man. I love each and every one of you. I'm proud of you guys. Thank you for riding out on another one with me. And until the next one love, baby. Be good or be good at it. You acting like a tough guy on the internet, and now you're sitting in a prison cell, and your cellmate wants to play in your prison purse, and now you're just wishing that you thought twice or maybe acted just a little nice instead of being a 5'8" prison punk. Yeah, you talked real hard on the internet. Now your whole asshole's full of regret while you're stretching your neck for a couple of honey bugs. Don't be like Wes. Don't be like Wes. Don't be like Wes. 5'8" Watson putting his paperwork up his asshole.